5 minutes ago, Jung Hae finally reveals how he captured Jung So-min's heart. What really happened behind the scenes of this seemingly perfect pairing? Was it fate, persistence, or something even more shocking? Welcome to Red Carpet Revealed, where today's hottest confession is about to shake the entire K-drama world. Let's dive in and uncover the truth behind one of the most unexpected and irresistible love stories in Korean entertainment. In a revelation that no one saw coming, Jung Hae has finally lifted the veil on one of the most speculated and quietly adored stories in Korean entertainment, his undeniable connection with actress Jung So-min. The confession, delivered just 5 minutes ago in a candid interview at a secluded studio in Seoul's affluent Cheongdam-dong district, is already causing a ripple effect across newsrooms, fan forums, and social media feeds. The actor, often dubbed Korea's gentle boyfriend, has long been known for his shy smile and reserved nature. For years, fans suspected a spark between him and Jung So-min, but neither party gave in to the rumors until now. With calm composure and eyes that hinted at years of silent emotion, Jung Hae finally spoke the words that have sent the industry reeling. "I didn't plan it," he began, his voice low, steady. "I didn't expect it, but something about her just stopped me in my tracks." According to Jung, the moment everything changed wasn't in a drama script or at a glamorous awards show. It happened during a modest shoot for a tourism promotion video 2 years ago, far from the flashing lights of Seoul. The setting, Jeonju-hanok village in the crisp quiet of autumn. Both he and So-min were brought in last minute to shoot a few unscripted scenes together. He described arriving at the site early in the morning, the mist still rising off the old rooftops, and then seeing her for the first time. She was wearing a simple hanbok standing under the ginkgo trees, he recalled. No makeup, no designer clothes, no audience. Just her and the golden leaves falling around her. And in that moment I forgot where I was. He paused. I forgot who I was. That short shoot lasted less than an hour, but it haunted him for months. Though they barely exchanged more than a few professional words, something lingered, something that pushed him to look for her in every hallway, every rehearsal room, every festival, red carpet. It wasn't love at first sight. It was curiosity, then admiration, and finally a feeling so persistent he couldn't ignore it. Still, he said nothing. Jung Hae, so often cast as the man who always says the right thing, found himself speechless. Months passed. They met again briefly at an industry dinner, then again at a film premiere. He began to notice the details, how she touched her glass before speaking, how she turned away slightly when she laughed. He listened to every interview she gave. He watched her films, not for her acting, but for the traces of the woman he saw behind the camera. "People always say you know when it's the right person," he said. "But I didn't know. I doubted myself constantly. I thought, why would someone like her look twice at someone like me?" Despite his uncertainty, he waited. He admitted to choosing public events based on whether So-min might attend. At the Baeksang Arts Awards, when he saw her enter the room in a silver gown and sit 2 rows behind him, he didn't approach. He couldn't. But everything changed that night after the awards ended. The official after-party was winding down. The hotel rooftop was nearly empty. And there she was, standing alone in the light rain, holding an umbrella, looking out over the Seoul skyline. He approached her, heart-pounding, hands shaking, with no script to follow. "I asked if I could walk her home," he said, and she didn't hesitate. She just smiled and said yes. That walk, he says, lasted over an hour. They talked about films, the industry, their families. Nothing romantic, nothing dramatic, but everything felt different. There was no confession, Jung clarified. Not that night. I just wanted to know her. I wanted her to see me not as a co-star or a public figure, but as a man who had been quietly waiting for that moment. When asked why he chose to reveal all of this now, he didn't hesitate. "Because love deserves to be real. Because I'm tired of pretending it didn't happen." His words were simple, but the weight behind them was undeniable. "I didn't capture her heart with flowers or grand gestures. I didn't chase or impress. I just stood still and waited long enough for her to turn around." As his confession spread across the media, fans were left in awe, not just because of the romance, but because of the vulnerability. The idea that one of Korea's most sought-after actors had fallen quietly and wholeheartedly for someone without fanfare or spectacle was refreshing in an industry often defined by image. But what happened after that night, what unfolded in the quiet space between two stars who had for so long orbited each other in silence? According to Jung Hae, in the weeks that followed their rainy night walk were filled with restraint and uncertainty. He didn't bombard her with messages. He didn't try to rush what was fragile and still undefined. Instead, he let the connection breathe. He waited for the next time they would cross paths. It was a patience not often seen in the entertainment world, a world driven by urgency, image, and instant gratification. There was no label, no promises, he said. We simply began to see each other more. Sometimes it was a coffee after a press event. Other times it was a quiet dinner in a restaurant, hidden in the alleys of Mangwon-dong, where they could sit across from one another like two people who hadn't spent their lives under the scrutiny of cameras. He spoke about how he began to understand her fears, the pressure she felt to be seen a certain way, the loneliness behind the fame, and her resistance to trust easily. She didn't open up right away, he admitted. But when she did, I saw everything. The pain, the strength, the kindness, and something in me changed forever. Their relationship, as he described it, was built not on passion, but on presence. Not on declarations, but on consistency. While the public speculated wildly, interpreting every glance, every gesture, as proof of a secret affair, the reality was more grounded, more real. It was slow, it was honest, it was human. At one point during the interview, Jung paused for several long seconds before recounting a night that to him solidified everything. It was the night after Jung So-min's drama finale aired. The ratings had spiked. Social media was flooded with praise for her performance. Her agency celebrated. But she, exhausted and emotionally drained, chose to stay home. Jung Hae came over uninvited, not as a lover but as a friend, bringing with him a cup of warm barley tea and a bag of tangerines. She opened the door in pajamas, no makeup, her eyes swollen from crying, he recalled. She just looked at me and said, "How did you know I needed someone tonight?" That was the first time she held his hand, and that's when he knew. They still never labeled their relationship. They still never confirmed it to the press. But in every unspoken gesture, every shared silence, they built something that didn't require validation, something solid, something sacred. I think people expect fireworks when it comes to love stories, Jung said. But for me, it was never about fireworks. It was about warmth, about quiet certainty. And yet, even with the tenderness in his voice, he acknowledged the challenges they faced. There were days we didn't speak. Days she doubted. Days I wondered if the industry, the gossip, the pressure, would crush what we had. But the thing about her is she never asked me to fight for her. She just asked me to stand still, to not walk away. And that's what I did. His words echoed like a declaration not only of love, but of intention. In an industry that demands masks, Jung Hae chose transparency. And in doing so, he didn't just tell the world how he captured Jung So-min's heart, he showed it. What comes next remains unknown. Will Jung So-min publicly acknowledge his words? Will they make their relationship official, or will they continue to guard it quietly away from the noise? Perhaps it doesn't matter. What matters is that for once in a landscape obsessed with glossy headlines and scandalous exclusives, a love story emerged that wasn't scandalous, but sincere. One that reminded people what it means to fall for someone, not because they're perfect, but because they make you feel seen, known, understood. And maybe that's why his confession struck such a deep chord. Because in every sentence, every memory he shared, Jung Hae didn't sound like a celebrity revealing a romance. He sounded like a man remembering the exact moment his life shifted course. For fans across the globe, the revelation is more than just celebrity gossip. It's a glimpse into the human behind the fame. It's a rare moment of vulnerability in a world built on illusions. And perhaps it's proof that even under the blinding lights of fame, two people can still find something real. As this story continues to unfold, one thing is certain. The truth of Jung Hae-in's heart has been laid bare. And now the world is simply waiting, breath held, for what Jung So-min will say in return.